Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for clicking on the video. So today I'm going to be talking about putting together your first CV or putting together a CV to get you your first job. I've worked in HR for about 3 years and I've seen a lot of CVs. I've worked in recruitment as well. I've seen a lot of CVs, and this video is just going to be showing you how you can put together your first CV. As I've said, it's going to be really simple, but it should do the job. So before I get into the actual CV, I have to say that to get you your first job, you need to have some experience. So making sure that you get some voluntary experience. So when I was about 17, 18, I volunteered in Oxfam, which wasn't the funnest job, but anyway, I volunteered in Oxfam and I worked there for about 4 weeks. I applied for a job in River Island and I ended up getting that job. So that was like my first job ever, really. So you can do the same as well. You can apply to be a volunteer at a hospital if you want to do care or anything to do with health, if you want to be a clinician or anything to do with healthcare, that kind of thing. Or if you want to do admin work as well, hospitals are good for that. If you want a retail job, then you can then apply for a charity shop where you can be on the shop floor or you can be behind the counter dealing with cash and dealing with customers and that kind of stuff. So yeah, so whatever kind of jobs you're looking for, volunteer in that sector and then gain some experience so that you can actually have something to put on your CV. So let's get into the actual CV now. So the first thing you should see on your CV is your name, you know, in bold, in big. Have your name on there, and then you have your address, your email address, your phone number as well. Underneath that, you need your statement. So your statement is essentially like, say you're on Tinder and you've got the picture. Your statement is like your picture. If your statement's not great, they're not going to want to look at the rest of it. So on it, you kind of need to kind of make it almost like a summary, but make it be punchy, make it kind of like tell them what you're looking for, why they should hire you, and the experience that you've got. So you can write something like Joe Smith, seeking a weekend job within a retail store. You can talk about the experience that you have. So if you've got cash handling experience, retail experience, customer service experience, add that in. I'm gonna have like a CV thing somewhere here, so yeah, so you kind of see how I would put it. And then lastly, you also have to talk about the skills that you've got. So you can be like excellent communicator, what did I put there? And great team player. Done. That's your statement, and then people are gonna be like, oh, I want to read more. She's got experience, she's got these skills, she's confident. Make sure that your statement seems quite confident. Then you go to the next thing. I would put your education next, just because you don't have that much experience and you have kind of stated in your statement, you know, that you volunteered and stuff like that. So you haven't mentioned your education yet. So I would put your education next and the most current education that you've got. So your A-levels or college, state where you go for college and the dates as well. So when you started, when you finished, or started and, you know, to present if you're currently there. And then state what you're studying, and in brackets put the grades that you've got or the grades that you predicted, and then underneath that put your GCSEs. You don't need to go any further than your GCSEs. Then you can then put your work experience and state your voluntary experience. So assuming you've got some voluntary experience. State your voluntary experience, and I would say maybe to have about 4 or 5 bullet points about what you did and make it relevant to the job that you're applying for. So if you're applying for a job and they're saying they want customer service, they want team working skills, all those things, you better believe you're going to put that on there. You put it onto your CV. You can kind of change it up a little bit if you want, but make sure that you literally tell them that you are what they're looking for. And also I suggest changing this section every time you're applying for a different role. So say if you're applying for roles that are literally exactly the same, you can pretty much send the same CV. If you're applying for jobs that are slightly different, you'd have to change, you know, you'd have to change it slightly so that it talks about what they're looking for. So if they're looking for more analytical skills, you can kind of talk about that or make it seem like those are the skills that you gained. But obviously you can't lie, so make sure it's all honest, make sure it's all truthful, but just make sure that your CV does mirror what they're looking for. Then add your interests and activities. On here I would add, say if you do any hobbies, if you do netball, if you do football, if you do chess, whatever you do in your spare time, anything that you enjoy, put it on there. Kind of gives your CV a bit more personality, and it also means that it's another place where you can talk about the skills that you have learned. Literally everything that you talk about on there should be like intentional. You can't just put something on there and for the sake of it. You has to be intentional. So you can say if you did netball, something like that, you can talk about the fact that you gained leadership skills, you gained team working skills, communication, problem solving skills, whatever you've learned from it, add it onto there and just make it sound really excellent. You can also add skills, but I'm not going to add it onto the CV that you're going to see on here. I hope there's enough space. Maybe we should move up a little bit. I'm not going to add it onto the CV, but you can also add skills that you've got. So say you have IT skills and stuff like that, you can add it, you can put skills and then write Microsoft Word, Mac, or editing skills, whatever kind of skills that you've got, you can add them onto there. And then lastly, you'd put references. Make sure that you have got some referees. This should be somebody who's like a teacher at school, or it can be a personal reference that you've got as well. So that's pretty much it. Your CV should be simple, easy to read, should not be longer than 2 pages. And assuming at this point you don't really have a lot of experience, so it's not going to be longer than that. I don't know if I've already mentioned this. Make sure that you have the right fonts. You don't use anything too crazy. Make sure that you proofread it. Make sure the CVs are the way that your country kind of lays them out. That sounds really weird. I'm not saying that kind of weird, but basically, because I've had CVs from people from India, I've had CVs from people from America, and they kind of lay out their CVs differently. Some people put pictures and stuff, because I think in their countries that's kind of like what is expected. But obviously, if you're applying for a job in the UK, make sure that your CV looks like a typical CV for the UK, and you don't need to put any information other than kind of like what I've stated for a UK CV. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Your CV should be fairly straightforward. It's gonna be hard to do, and I wish you guys all the best. I hope that you do get the job, and let me know. That'd be so exciting to find out more. See you guys later.